Good morning. I am going to start speaking in hopes that we start getting people back in the room. So welcome. I am Wendy O'Malley. I'm Vice President of Operations for Power Options. I know many of you. I've been with Power Options now going on with my 11th year, so I'm very happy to have worked directly with most of you over the last 11 years. So the second panel is going to bring some good news. I know we had a lot of bad news in the first panel about increasing rates, all the higher costs that it seems like we can't do much about because they're on the delivery side. And I think many of you have called me over the years. Elaine had a very common question on how do I predict what my delivery costs will be for the upcoming budget year? And also the question we get is, how can I reduce that delivery cost that I'm seeing on my bill that seems to be increasing constantly each year with my budget? As many of you know, you've locked in contracts that have reduced your supply costs significantly over the last few years, so that's a great savings. But when you're looking at your total bill cost, you probably aren't seeing that savings in the total amount that you're paying each year. So where is all that money going? Well, we saw where that money is going in the first panel. It's on the delivery side. So when most of you call me and you ask me how can I reduce my delivery costs, my answer in the past has been there's not much you can do. That they're tariff rates, that they're approved by the DPU, and the rate is the rate that you have to pay. Well, coming in today's meeting, we wanted to see if there were other things that we could recommend for our customers that could help you look at the long term. So today's panel is going to be focused on reducing costs on the delivery side. What many of you realize when you look at your bill, even though you don't know what maybe each component is on the actual delivery charge, you know that it's a multiplier of your usage. So you know that in very common sense, if you reduce your usage, you could typically reduce that delivery cost. Well, there are also long-term strategies that you can employ at your organizations to set yourself up for your next supply contracts. So what I want you to do is start thinking about maybe there's an idea that one of the panelists will recommend today that you could employ at your organization to increase the efficiency of your load profile for your electricity accounts, or to make your gas usage profile more attractive. That way, when we're going out for contract in two to 3 years for your next long-term supply deal, you are better positioned to get a more favorable price from the suppliers that you're receiving pricing from. So that's one intent of this panel, is to talk about strategies to improve the profiles of your accounts so that next time we go out, we can get you an even better supply price. Typically, it's just trying to lock into the market when we think it's the best time. So now we want to add on to that to try and improve your profiles so that you can position yourself for better long-term contracts. We also have some strategies that our panelists will talk about that can reduce demand at your facilities. Demand, again, is a huge cost component of your delivery charge on your bills. So our first speaker, Al Lucier from Direct Energy, he is going to be talking about your electricity accounts. What makes up the pricing that a supplier gives to you when you are requesting quotes under a supply contract, how you may be able to make yourself more attractive for the next deal. Ron Aberisk from Hess Corporation is also here. He's going to be talking about that from the natural gas perspective. We have Tony Bianco from Converge, who's our demand response provider. Tony's going to be talking a little bit about demand response, how that can affect your power purchase, and then he's going to be talking about some other services that Converge offers that can also look at your peak and your demand and reducing that cost. And then finally, our grand slam hitter is Dean Musser. He's from Tangent. Tangent is a behind-the-grid company, and they have a number of energy solutions as well on the power side that can help, and maybe you can think of at least one idea. We know there's no one answer for every facility. You all have different systems. You all have different ways you run your organization and your different budget goals. But if you can just take one idea away from one of the panelists, hopefully that will play into reducing your costs overall long-term. So without delay, I'd like to introduce Al Lucier, who is the sales manager for the Northeast for the Direct Energy Business Division. Thank you.